Hey friends, we're back in the kitchen today.
We are making something fun and we're excited about this. It's
one of my favorite things.
There it is. It's a great holiday treat. It sounds Christmassy. It tastes Christmassy. And we used to have a friend who used to make this for us every year at Christmas, and Doug couldn't wait for it. He was excited every Christmas for this. What are we making?
We're making cinnamon rock candy.
All right. We have wanted to try to make this, and this is our second attempt.
So join us in the kitchen and let's see how it works.
Let's see how it goes. All right, little sweet heat cinnamon rock candy. For the rock candy, we need 3 3/4 cups of granulated sugar. I know it's a lot, but it's rock candy. It's mostly sugar. We need a cup of water, 1 1/4 cups of corn syrup, and about 1.5 cups of powdered sugar that I've sifted. We really won't use that until the end. A teaspoon of red food coloring. That's optional, so if you want to color your rock candy, you can, but you don't have to. And then we've got some cinnamon oil, and we're going to use between 1 and 2 teaspoons. From past experience, I think we're going to hit about a teaspoon here. All right, we went ahead and prepped our pan. We just have a baking pan. We went ahead and lined it with foil and sprayed the foil a little bit, and then parchment over top of the foil and a little bit of spray on the parchment. Remember, you can't use wax paper because once you get to 300 degrees with the candy, it'll melt the wax paper, so make sure you're using parchment. We have seen some recipes where they just do the foil, but we're just going to be on the safe side here. So we've got the parchment on top, and then just in case it leaks through, something to protect.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mix my sugar, my water, and my corn syrup here. And I'm going to hold off on my food coloring, and I'm going to add it in a little bit later.
And we're going to start off on high heat. We're going to get this all mixed together. And once it's all mixed together and it looks like it's starting to begin to boil a little bit, we're going to turn the heat back to a medium-high heat, or to a medium heat actually. Sugar looks like it's mixing pretty well. The recipes that we've read say you don't have to stir the whole time. We do want to get it mixed well enough to get it combined well. But while we're waiting on the rolling boil, or once it gets to the point where it's got that boiling action, you don't have to continuously stir it, but you do have to watch it. So this could take, we have seen anywhere from 20 minutes up to 45 minutes. We have to get this mixture up to 300 degrees, and we will get it, like we said, boiling, and then turn the heat back, and then start the watching and waiting. About 5 minutes in, everything's mixed together well, but it's starting to look like we've got some bubbling action coming up, so I don't think it'll be too long, and we will turn that temperature back.
Okay, I've got a nice boil going here, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my food coloring. This is 1 teaspoon of my red food coloring, just to give it that little bit of cinnamon color to it.
We also turn the heat back to medium heat.
Look at that.
That looks like Christmas. If you are using a different flavor, of course, you can use whatever color food coloring you want. So if you're making orange, you want to put in some orange food coloring. You're making lemon, you could add yellow. But we're going to keep this boiling until we reach 300. And to check that, we're going to get the handy dandy candy thermometer out, and we'll get it checked here.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hook the candy thermometer in here, and remember we're waiting for it to get up to 300 degrees.
Should clip
I'm
right.
just going to clip it on the side here.
And we don't want it to touch the bottom. You want it to be in the candy specifically, so it will hook. And if you, I don't know if you can tell, but I don't want to get it too steamy, you'll be able to see, but it has already started crawling up to close to 200 degrees. So we'll let it sit. Like we said, it could take a chunk of time. It's kind of like watching paint dry, but we'll get there. This looks so pretty. It is kind of stuck at the 250 We'll have to let it keep rolling. We've watched several videos and read several recipes, and most of them say you don't have to stir constantly, but you should stay near the pot because it can easily boil over. So we are not stirring, we are just watching. Since we're really close to 300 degrees, I'm going to go ahead and measure out 1 teaspoon of the cinnamon oil so we have it ready to pour in. This little bottle has about 2 teaspoons. We're only going to use 1, but it's ready to go. Okay, we're at 300. We have a bowl of cold water. We're just going to do a quick drop into the cold water and see if it hardens up. Oh, and it's staying in its place, if you can see. Oh, there we go. It's hard, so we're at crack stage. That's really cool. We're going to quickly add in the cinnamon. We're turning it off the heat, sliding it off. And Doug's going to add the cinnamon, and we'll stir that in.
You want to stop that and go. Okay, so we hit our 300 degrees, so I'm just mixing in the cinnamon here. And I'm going to mix it all together. Oh, it smells so good. Mix it all together. It is really strong, so you want to make sure that your face isn't right above it. And we're going to turn our fan on just so that we've got a little bit of ventilation. And then we're going to pour it onto this prepared sheet, but you got to be really careful. We're looking at 300 degrees molten candy here, so that'd be like lava hitting your skin, or at least I'm sure it would feel like it. So be sure not to splatter, but we're going to get that poured out on this wax paper. Actually, it's not wax paper, it's
parchment. Parchment, yeah. Do not use the wax paper. All right, Tammy, get yourself together. While Doug's working here, this pan looks a mess, but if you just set it with some hot water in it, it will start to dissolve. So once we get that completely cleared and cooled enough to move to the sink, we're going to put some hot water in it and just let it set a bit, and it will help with cleanup. Now, this is going to take about 4 hours. You have to let it sit for 4 hours, and in about 4 hours, we should be able to crack it. Crack it. All right, full disclosure, this is our second attempt. We did this last night, and we thought we had an accurate reading of the temperature, but I don't think it was quite at 300. When we put it in the pan, it was still gooey. You could see a little gooiness to it. And this looks like glass, which is what it's supposed to look like. It hit that hard crack stage. We have read it's better to go a little over 300 than a little under 300. And I think this is going to be perfect for us. It has that beautiful shine like glass. We tested with that little water test. That worked out well. But that 300, that's an important measure. You have to get to that. Not close, got to be there. All right, this is so much better than our first attempt. And it's a long story, but somewhere along the line, if you're interested in what happened the first go round, just drop something in the comments and we'll let you know. But this, much better. It looks like glass. It hasn't been 4 hours, but it definitely is completely set. And we could probably crack it by hand, but we're gonna give it a shot here. I'm just gonna cover it with another piece of parchment and hit it a few times, first of all, with our rolling pin here and see what happens. Well, it's cracking all right. It looks like cracked glass, but I think that's what we want. But we need smaller pieces. This looks like good sizes, but these look too big. So we'll crack it up a little bit more, and then we will get to powdered sugar again. Doug decided the hammer was a better plan.
Looking good.
All right, let's get some powdered sugar going here. All right, we've got some nice solid rock candy. We're gonna give it a bath in the powdered sugar. And we got a lot to work with here, but I think we can do several pieces at a time. It can be a little sticky, they say, so the powdered sugar, I think, helps out just to make sure that it's not sticky at any point or doesn't stick to anything else, but I think it lightens up the cinnamon a little bit. And we got a lot to go, so we'll get working on covering and be back in a little bit. This has already been powdered sugar, but some of the pieces do have jagged ends. So especially if you're having children, you might want to break some of those off so that they're not getting jagged edges. All right, Doug, what you got?
Okay, so we've got some here that we have powdered sugar on. Looks delicious. And then some that we have not powdered sugar yet. We haven't really quite decided whether we're going to put it on there or not. We might just keep them separate and not do it. But hey, let's give them a try. They look pretty good.
Here we do. We love this bright red color. So we kind of looks like a stained glass, doesn't it? All right, let's give them a try.
Okay, so that was a lot of fun.
It was.
It took a little bit more time than we were expecting, but I think it turned out pretty good.
It did. It took almost 45 minutes to really get to that crack stage, which we thought we were doing something wrong the first go
but
around.
The house smells really good.
Yes, it does. It is like cinnamon from one end to the other. All right, let's give our cinnamon rock candy a taste.
That has great cinnamon flavor.
The powdered sugar kind of melts away right away.
Melts away quickly.
It really is, I think, to keep it from sticking at any point. Great cinnamon flavor.
And I do think the cinnamon is just perfect. It's not too much, not too less. It's just perfect.
Yeah, the 1 teaspoon worked really well. This is a thicker piece, so I don't want to bite down on it and break a tooth. So I'm thinking that I'll work on it a bit. Some of it is thinner and it's easier to bite, I would think. But the ones that are a little bit thicker, I think it's like a hard cinnamon candy.
Hey, next I think we'll try a different flavor. Maybe some apple?
Or orange.
Orange.
Or lemon.
Really good. Yep.
There you go. All right, thank you so much for being with us. Take care of yourselves, take care of others, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Join us next week as we try making some delicious looking candy cane fudge.